Quentin Bryce, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Lisa.
It has been quite extraordinary here in London watching the ceremonial process of farewelling a queen, but she is someone that you knew quite well over the years. When was the first time that you actually saw her?
The first time I saw her was when I was a little girl. That memorable visit that's been spoken of so many times, the 1954 visit of the sovereign to our country. Of course, I'd been aware of the Queen before then. I watched with my family in Fernberg Road, and certainly there was no disappointment in the evening when the Queen and Prince Philip came down Fernberg Road in the Rolls with the lights on and the diamonds of her necklace and tiara. They were going to the royal ball at the City Hall. It was absolutely magic.
You'd have to be reflecting as well that from that little girl who saw the Queen to then making history when you and a female Prime Minister greeted Queen Elizabeth in Australia. To see the three of you, that is such a strong, enduring image.
I remember that day so well, of course. I must say it was a very bubbly sort of occasion. The third woman who was there in the lineup, of course, was Katie Gallagher, who was then the Chief Minister of the ACT. So there were really three of us in that lineup waiting, and we walked off on a beautiful day, and it was the beginning to a wonderful visit.
I have to ask you, what was she like as a house guest?
Well, they were all very good guests. The Queen liked to stay at Yarralumla because she'd been there many times and she liked to make that her base and travel off to other parts of Australia. It was a very special occasion for all of us at Yarralumla. I had moved out of the house just to make more space, and when the Queen heard about that, she really remonstrated with me about it. I remember we were outside at a lovely informal party for her staff and our staff, and she came and said to me, "I hear you've moved out and you shouldn't have done that," etc. Yes, she was very firm about it.
You then had those visits to the UK. What was that like, being a guest of the Queen?
Well, that was truly one of those pinch me moments, you know, to receive an invitation to go to Balmoral. It was a few weeks before I was sworn in as Governor-General, and I remember that it was the 12th of August, a beautiful time at Balmoral. The gardens absolutely lush and gorgeous. Arriving at Balmoral, you know, it so looks like a castle with all those steeped roofs. I remember being quite amazed by the shambles of it all in the hallway. There were sort of bikes and baskets and sporting things, and it was quite homey, really, it felt. Very welcoming. There'd been the talk about whether it would be dinner, black tie, getting into a dinner dress, or a barbecue. And we did have a barbecue, yes, and that was a very memorable occasion. We were given instructions that we weren't to be offering to help out, that the Queen made the salad dressing and she liked to be hosting the event herself.
You paint her as being a very personable, down-to-earth kind of woman who actually was a world leader.
Well, the very first time I met her when I was Governor of Queensland at Buckingham Palace, I felt very nervous and stiff walking up the steps and wondering what that would be like. And I remember giving me a bit of a push between my shoulder blades to get into the photo. We hear so often about the burden that she carried in her devotion to duty and commitment to service. But as I reflect, I think how much she enjoyed the job and her stunning leadership. Across those 70 years, the world changed, we all changed so dramatically. But there was always something contemporary, and I think for many of us, we admired her as a working mother that she did have the challenge that so many women of the last generation have struggled with, of balancing a lot of responsibilities. And I think that women identified with that particularly.
Dame Quentin, what will you miss the most about Elizabeth II?
That she's not there. And I think that that's the feeling that's reaching into the hearts of many, that, that some of the words have been used again and again about a constant, always there, our Queen. I love some of the interviews we've seen of people, particularly, I must say, in London, being asked, why are they in these long, long queues that go for miles and miles? And they say, well, she was my queen and that's what I wanted to do.
Did you ever think of her as a friend?
Oh, I think that'd be a little presumptuous of me, but I did have for her an enormous respect and admiration, and I'd say affection.
Dame Quentin Bryce, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Lisa.